section, as you can see, this date corresponds to the first row in the first section of it, and the date sent is the second row that corresponds to. The same way, the first row corresponds to the code and the description corresponds to the next row. Same way, the group corresponds to the first row and the user corresponds to the second row. So that's why people get confused, like where I will write, what date I'm going to write here, what date I'm going to write here, what is this here, here. So everything there is a reference, but only thing you have to understand how to address these reference to these rows. So coming to the contact log, different companies use this for different reasons. In some companies, as a case processor, we write some of them like what we have done in the case, like, okay, the case has been routed to data entry, the case, then the, okay, if there is a QC person, he will write in the second one, like on this date, I have sent this on this date, and on this date, I have completed the medical review, or I have completed the quality check of this case and routed to the medical review, and the medical reviewer will generate another one and then add another contact log. That's one way of utilizing the contact log. And the other way of utilizing it in the clinical trial companies, especially, they will add the queries or anything that has been edited in the narratives. Queries means nothing but whatever you have questions about the case. So if you have some questions like the lab data is missing, if it is a death case, if in that death case you are missing an autopsy report, or if you need a discharge summary of the patient, or you need more information about the patient past medical history, you're missing some of the information from the case, that's when we will create the queries. That means asking the questions. So basically we use a contact log to let someone know what is happening with this case, either to question the next person belonging to this case, or to let them know, okay, you have completed the data entry. Now the quality check is remaining. Now the quality check has completed. So when it goes to the submission process, the submission person can see everything in the contact log from data and starting from booking, data entry, QC, quality check, nothing but the medical review, everything, all the steps has been completed or not. That's how some companies use it. And the other ways, as I said, the queries, how these companies use to generate these queries. So basically, when we talk about the queries, we have to discuss more we will discuss more in depth in the action items tab. But in the contact log, it's not just you are going to write it to the clinical trial site investigator only. You can set up writing these letters to the consumers as well, like the customers. If the patient is taking the post-marketing product of yours and you receive this from the patient for the post-marketing product, which is by the public, you wanted to follow up with some of the other information, whether the age or any such sort of queries, like you need any medical reports or lab data, because you might be missing a lot of information because it's the consumers reporting to you. It's a post-marketing case. So let's say I have generated this letter like today I'm processing. Okay, it's not going to take today's date. Yesterday I processed this case, let's say. And today I'm going to send this case. So I'm going to write today's date. Every time when you want to do the today's date, the current date, you can just do the equal sign and tab out. It will do for you. And the code, what is this for? Are you sending it as a follow-up? If you're sending it as a follow-up, you can write follow-up. So basically, when you double click on this, based on your company conventions, you will have it. Since this is a training database, you are not going to see any of the codes that are going to be generated. Usually the companies will say like query number 1. So if it's a clinical trial case, they will say query 1 follow-up, query 2 follow-up. So that way they will define the codes. If it's a post-marketing product, consumer follow-up, or a healthcare professional follow-up, or it's a reporter follow-up, what kind of follow-up you are doing. So all that code information